Hello everyone, my name is Nathan Byerly, and this is my milestone 2 for week 3 for APD1, term 1408. Okay, for this milestone, as you see, I did not have any issues implementing the milestone features, and I did not make any changes to the requirements. I kept everything on track with the flow and the requirements. Okay, let's start. The one thing that is different though is the organization. The way I describe it, I should put the create the core data first before creating the managed objects, etc. As for the way everything's listed, but we'll go ahead and start off. Create the core data files. You see, I have a folder here labeled core data, and this is where I have my files, and I have the model. We'll start with the table view controller for core data, and it's just pretty much holding a lot of the fetched and the managed objects context. As you see here, get the fetched results, excuse me, the perform your fetch. Scroll down. A lot of this is the basic table view stuff that we've learned in previous courses. And then we got the core data table view, which is all pretty much basic stuff, of course, except for like the managed objects and such, which is a lot of it's new to the dealing with core data. And let's see, create and set up. Step number 2: create and set up managed managed objects for both category and recipe. Excuse me. That's these files here. As you see, is MS managed object. It's pretty much follows the same as a NS object, except for the way that it is created. It's pretty much holding all the data and the stuff from what is within your model. So for example, to create one, you would select your for me, I have two entities. So if I select recipe, it's got the cook time, directions, ingredients name, and oven temp for attributes, and the relationship with category. So to create one of these managed objects, you would select the entity you want, go up to editor, and then click on create MS managed object subclass, and it will create a subclass for that. So that is those. Set up app delegate files to hold properties for managed objects and core data, which I think I showed a lot of this actually in last week's video. But here's this. It's, as it's stating, it's pretty much holding all of the managed objects for the context, model, coordinator, fetch results controller, and that's pretty much its purpose. And you see, here's the fetch results controller for it did finish launching with options. And the application will terminate. And then here's the managed objects context, the model, and the coordinator there. And what is it? Create the core data model for holding data. This is what I just showed a minute ago. As I said, the order of operations pretty much is a little messed up. So I got my two entities, and then I got my relationship between the two. As you see here, with between the category and the recipe, there's the one-to-many. Let's see, set up saving of data within recipe detail view. Let's see, recipe detail view. And see, I had messed up initially. This error here is because of the fact that when I initially set up my data model, I had oven temp as a number, but instead I switched it to a string because of the fact that people are going to put in oven temp, but they may add something out, after that. Is it 425 degrees? Is it whatever? So I just went ahead and switched that, and even though the code itself is clean and everything is switched, I still have this error that pops up stating that it is still a number and not a string. So what was the question? Set up saving data for the recipe. Okay. So here's all the stuff for the. Okay, actually I should change this, because initially when this milestone was created, I had the add recipe table view and the recipe detail view on the same view. I'll show you what I mean here. Find it here. Let me find it. Yes, right here. See, here is the recipe table view. Or the detail. Well, this is the detail view, but this detail view and the add recipe were the same view. So I could add what I needed, and when I clicked on the cell, it would take me back to here to view the data. So in week 1, I end up splitting this as a pointer from the professor. Split these, have the detail view on its own view, and then have the add on its own view. So I split this. So this should actually not say detail view. This should actually say add recipe. So this should actually say set up saving data within the add recipe view, which is this one here. And here is all that. Let's go down and see the save stuff. Oh, the dismiss keyboard. It's always nice. There's a stupid error again. I know I'm overlooking it. Yes, there it is right there. IB action to save. Here, the recipe name, the recipe cook time, the recipe oven temp. Setting it from the text field. Let's see, add some design color. That was because this right here is the same as week 1. Week 2. Because initially when I started it, it was very plain Jane, you could say. So I stepped it up some and added some color and so on and so forth. And I ended up making this change for week 2 instead of it being on this week's. As you see, it does have a little bit more, instead of just a plain added colors, which let's go for the add view, for example. Right here, table view, added colors. And I tell you, a good program to get is this one here. I love this little application. If I need to pick a color, you just click on this, and then you can click anywhere on your screen and it will pick that color for you. And then it shows you down here the code for each. Or you can select your color code from here. For example, I'll show this real quick. I don't use a mouse. I use the Intellis tablet, drawing tablet. So sometimes it doesn't want to. It gets fidgety. And let's see, I know this is taking some time here. Let's get to... Why is this not coming up? Oh, actually I should probably... For instance, we'll just select this one. Why is this not coming up? Okay, anyway, when you get to that point, you're able to select a color. It's not coming up. I don't have no idea why. Because it's probably already up somewhere. Okay, anyway, you get the... You can select your color from this. And then you can grab your color picker that you get when you select it here, and you can click on this. There it is right there. And it already writes the code out for you for those that are having issues with it, or they could use, you know, paint code trial, whatever. And from what I see, that is all I have for this week. Thank you for watching. Bye.